Hello, I'm Rory O'Connor and you're here with Smooth Radio. Joining me today are Nicky, Shane, Mark and Kian. Wembley, Westlife are in the building.
That's right.
Yes, we are.
Sure
We're in the stadium.
For the first time ever.
I know, you've got a big announcement today. Can you tell us, finally tell us?
Yeah, we're playing Wembley Stadium, which is pretty incredible. Next year, August 22nd, Westlife will be live at Wembley for the first time ever. So it's a very special day for us as a band. And for our fans, obviously, it's going to be pretty special too.
I mean, looking around at all these empty seats now, how does that make you feel knowing that this is going to be packed?
Well, let's just hope there's not these amount of empty seats on August 22nd. But no, it's a dream come true. It really is. We've all gone up and watched big concerts here. You know, Live Aid back in the day is the one we were all babies watching it, or young lads. And if you just look at the bands that have done it, it's, you know, they're the biggest in the world. So to be even in the same sentence as any of those bands is pretty special. And I think it's a once in a lifetime opportunity for us and our families and our fans to come to such an iconic place and to be in Westlife and to sing those songs. So hopefully all goes well. We to be honest with you, we're still pinching ourselves. We've walked around the pitch, and we may have been at football games here before, but to be out here as a headline act is something pretty incredible.
Now, it's your first time headlining in Wembley, so you're going to be pulling out all the stops. What can fans expect from this concert?
Well, I mean, we're going to literally design a show specifically for here. It's such a special event for us, you know. The Westlife reunion, we all set out to achieve things that we've never achieved before, you know, not just kind of look backwards, but look forwards. And this is certainly probably the biggest new achievement that we could possibly have done, you know, to reach this level, you know, in the UK. It's really, really special for us. We couldn't believe our ears when our agent told us the news. I mean, we always try and just create a big pop extravaganza concert. The difference with our shows, maybe with some other artists, is that we want the fans to enjoy every last second, you know. We don't want there to be a moment where we do kind of some cool album track that they don't really know. So they're going to know every single song. It literally is all of our hits. There won't be a song that they don't know. And we're going to build the biggest, best, punchiest stage set possible, you know, and try and better our tour that we've just done recently, the 20 tour, which was a great success, but we want to make it even bigger and better than that. And the most important thing is it's a completely new show, you know, still with all the hits, but a new show.
And before then, we're very excited because you're about to release Spectrum.
That's right, yeah. Our brand new album is coming. It's coming in November, so that's a big exciting moment for us as well. I think as Mark was just saying there, you know, since the reunion, it kind of feels like Westlife has taken a whole new lease of life, you know, from the tour that we've just finished to now announcing that we're going to play Wembley Stadium for the first time in our careers, 20 years after being a band, and then, you know, releasing what we feel is one of the strongest album we've ever made. You know, we just kind of feel like, you know, we're living the dream for a second time around, if not better and bigger this time around. It's just been kind of an incredible year for us, and hopefully the next year will be just as incredible, and this place will be sold out on August 22nd, and, you know, we'll have the biggest party of our lives.
And of course, you've worked with Ed Sheeran for this current album coming out. How did that come about? Have you met him yet?
Actually, no, we haven't. He was on tour for the last couple of years, so we haven't had a chance to meet him yet, but he's written 5 songs for the album. He's worked obviously with Steve Mack, our executive producer for the album, who's done most of the Westlife songs throughout the years. So yeah, it was great, you know, because when we started coming back as a band, one of the main things we wanted to do was not just tour, but to make a new album. And even Nicky kind of said, wouldn't it be great if we got like Steve Mack and Ed Sheeran to write a song for us? And that was a genuine comment. And then little did we know, 6 months before that, they had already written 2 songs for Westlife. And we didn't even know.
Must have been a bit of premonition going on.
Honestly, it was a bit
Stars
weird.
aligning.
Yeah, stars aligning, a bit kind of like meant to be, you know, this whole thing. And we feel like the whole year has been one of those kind of years, stuff that we didn't expect, and all our kind of dreams coming true. And it's right here to Wembley now, and it's incredible, you know. And you know, the Wembley show, as Mark said, is going to be our back catalogue. It's going to be all our hits. We want to sing all of our biggest hits in Wembley Stadium, and it'll obviously feature some of our new singles from Spectrum also. That'll be, you know, new in the minds of the fans.
I mean, people would just love to be with Westlife in the building. And I mean, you've had such a great response for Hello My Love, Dynamite. it's going to be amazing.
It is. To be honest with you, you know, we did 14 years together. We were very lucky guys to have such a long career originally, and we split up in 2012. We took 7 years away, and you know, some of us did reality TV. I was on Strictly, Kian won The Jungle. You know, we all had solo albums and we presented on TV and radio. So we stepped away from Westlife for a good 7.5 years, and when the opportunity came up last year to reunite, I mean, who gets a second bite at the cherry, you know? And we never knew, would the tour just be, you know, a nostalgia one-off kind of, you know, big sail out to the fans and goodbye. And we thought, well, we'd love to give it more than that and try and make a new album. And that's when Ed Sheeran, to be fair, stepped up. And I think there was only probably one man that could get Westlife out of bed, and it was Ed Sheeran. And he was writing these songs, and he'd said to Steve at the time, Steve Mack, he said, you know, I remember growing up listening to Flying Without Wings and learning how to play the guitar and stuff like that to Flying Without Wings. So that made us feel like, my God, the biggest superstar in the world actually listened to us when he was a child. Yeah. So now we're here, and I know Ed's played this place. You know, he's no stranger to this place. So yeah, it really is. I think it's awe-inspiring to be here. And to be able to, as little boys, go up watch football matches, the FA Cup, you're glued to all these big events that come out of Wembley Stadium. And as for our lads now, men now, you know, with children, I mean, for our 10 kids by the time Wembley comes around, to be sitting here with our parents that are still with us, it's going to be some special night, that's for sure.
And you've just completed a hugely successful tour, but looking back down the nostalgia route, how did it compare to your first ever tour?
There was more wrinkles on this tour, this is for sure.
The first ever tour, we were sort of like, is it deer in a headlight?
Rabbits in a headlight.
Rabbit in a headlight. Whatever animal you choose. We had never even used in-ear monitors, and the first time I ever put them in my ears was like 5 minutes before we went on stage in an arena. We had never, we had supported Boyzone in the past, and so we kind of performed in front of an arena crowd, but not an arena crowd that were there for us, you know. Yeah. So we went out there and we couldn't hear a word of what we were singing. So I think I shouted the first three tours of Westlife. I was just shouting because I thought I can't hear myself, so they can't hear me, so I better scream, you know.
You won't do that in Wembley on Saturday.
The point is, we were completely inexperienced at playing arenas, never mind stadiums. But through the years, you know, we learnt. We were thrown in the deep end, you know, and we learnt as the years went on. And I think we've absolutely, there's always room for improvement, but you know, I think we've got to a place where we really know what we're doing now. And actually, the time away from Westlife when we split up, we were all sort of forced to brush up any little bit. You know, when you're in a band, it's easy to sort of just stand over here and be covered up by the other lads for certain things. When you're on your own, you're responsible for everything, so you've got to be a fully rounded performer. And so the time away has actually brought all of our standards and games up, our vocals, our performance ability. So we've come back, I think, a stronger band. And so hopefully we can deliver.
So what you're saying is this is going to be the best concert yet?
Honestly,
that's what it sounds like.
This is genuinely going to be the best Westlife concert ever. You know, it's probably one of the biggest things we could ever do in our career. It's the biggest and most iconic stadium in the UK, one of the most iconic in the world. So to be Westlife playing in Wembley for the first time, for our fans, it will definitely be probably the most, you know, memorable night of our career.
I'm definitely going to wear football gear out there.
Nicky's going to have a football. Nicky's going to kick a football into the crowd. I guarantee it.
After every song.
You've got to practice your "Hello Wembley."
Exactly. Yeah.
Now I should get into the song. Hello, my love.
And
Hello,
it'll be 5 weeks after the Euro 2020 final.
Here we go.
Football.
Here we go. Football.
Nicky brings back
I might just camp here from that game on.
Now, to ask you about your 20 tour, during the tour, fans loved your Queen medley that you did every night.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Have you ever discussed collaborating with Queen?
Well, yeah, I mean, we would have loved to have Queen involved at some point for that medley that we just done. Sadly, they were on tour in America at the time, but when we played our national stadium back home in Ireland to end the 20 tour in the UK and Ireland, where, you know, we were trying to get them involved there, but like I said, they were abroad. So, you know, I think next year we won't be doing the Queen medley again. You know, that was the 20 tour. This will be the new tour. This will be a new show.
We got to beat it. We got to
beat that medley. You know, we got to find something that's going to actually knock the socks off the Queen medley this time around.
Well, I mean, your "Allow Us to Be Frank" album is one of my personal favourites.
Cheers.
I love a big band. I love swing. That got me into Mac the Knife. Every time that I go to a Michael Bublé concert, he always mentions you guys, and he goes, everyone always comes up to me and goes, "I love the cover you did of Westlife's Home."
Yeah. Well, we did write the song, Michael. You know.
We'll invite Michael down to do it with us here.
Exactly. Yeah.
And obviously, as we're talking about Mr. Christmas, it's been 20 years since your Christmas #1.
Wow.
That's right.
I know.
Thanks for reminding us. Yeah, that was.
We are that old.
That was a special.
I'm only 26, guys. Just to let you know.
It doesn't feel
Not to
like
make
that.
sure.
It doesn't feel like that.
Could there be another Christmas #1 on the cards?
You never know. You never say never.
I think, singles, getting singles to #1 is not really what we pay too much attention to. Getting albums to #1, absolutely. That's what it's all about for us. And with Spectrum coming out in November, who knows? We'd like to hope that album does very, very well. And, fingers crossed that it would be a #1 album. That would be incredible for us. But our focus is things like this. This is a milestone in our career. This is like, ticking a box of childhood dreams, and we've managed to do an awful lot of those things in our career so far. So the fact that, we're here 20 years later playing Wembley Stadium, announcing that we're going to be playing Wembley Stadium, we'll be a band 22 years when we play this next year. So that's that in itself for us. Like you said, you're only 26 and we're together 22 years and we're playing Wembley Stadium. It's pretty incredible.
Well, my 10-year-old self would be chuffed that I'm here interviewing Westlife.
that's good
He
to
wouldn't
hear.
believe it.
Oh,
And
nice to finally meet you.
And now that we are in the era of biopics at the moment, and you did do a broadcast into cinemas earlier this year from
That's
Croke
right.
Park.
Yeah.
Has there ever been a Westlife film mentioned?
No, there has been stuff mentioned to us in the past, but it was more just a kind of a random conversation, that was said to us by other people. But I think down the line, maybe in the future, it could be a really good story for.
If we could tell the real story.
yeah,
Ooh,
it
real
could
story.
be cool. You never know. But
I think
we're a bit shy
one,
of it
one
just
dream
yet.
at a time, though. I think let's just take this in today.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And of course, we can't leave out TV. I'm a Celebrity 2013 winning.
Yeah, that's right.
Have the rest of you lads been approached? It's coming up to November,
Well,
December
see, the
time.
problem we have, right, we've all secretly over the years been approached. Problem we have is Kian has actually gone and won it, okay? So that means the rest of us will only ever be second best unless you win it as well. So
Yeah.
chances of winning it are quite tough, but
And the
you
three
know,
of them
Kian
Set
is-
the bar.
There's only one king of the jungle.
Run when they see a
I couldn't
spider.
even jump out of the helicopter. I get me out of here straight away. So
But I think
Work.
that there's a reason why Kian done that, because I don't think any of the three of us could quite deal with, say, the rats and the snakes and
yes.
all that kind of
I
stuff.
like watching I'm a
So-
Celebrity. It's a really, really good show.
So that's why Kian is the king of the jungle, 'cause
In
none
fact,
of-
during
none
his
of us
time off, he
could do
opened
it.
up a rodent company where you could get rid of rats for people in Ireland.
Nicky is also selling fake tan now and sparkling sequences
Oh, right
stuff
back at you.
since his Strictly days.
Touche. And now your social media is going to go crazy after today's announcement. What do you think Westlife would have been like had social media existed when you first started?
Very different. I mean,
Yeah.
I think today, in this age, we're very grateful that we can keep in communication with our fans all around the world. I would say over 50% of our Twitter feed consists of international fans from various different parts of the world. A lot of Southeast Asia, China, Europe. And we get to feel the love from them, even though we mightn't be in those countries as much as we'd like to be, So if it was around back in the day, things would be
I'm kind
different.
of glad that we weren't part of the massive social media kind of hub that it has become in the last 10 years because, I think focus has shifted quite a lot since social media has come in that way. But, also there's a very positive thing in social media for us as a band. As Mark said, it's a great way of connecting with our fans that aren't able to be around us all the time and get to see what we're doing on a daily basis in different parts of the world.
Yeah. And I wanted to ask, with Spectrum coming up, it must be really hard to whittle it down to the songs you're going to include. So could there be future hits that you've had to keep off? Has it been a really tough decision?
We had a lot of songs, and it was actually, but we took the good thing about this album is, I suppose, when we started coming back to do even the announcement for the tour, we kind of only started the album, but we spent 14 months making this album, which is the longest we've ever spent making an album, and there's 11 songs on the album. And yeah, there were songs that were really, really great songs that we felt, just didn't make the cut because we wanted every song on this album to be a potential single.
Yeah.
Not that we'll release 11 songs, but we plan to release more singles obviously off this album, even after Christmas next year, running right up into Wembley. So there's probably going to be more singles released off this album than we've ever released off an album. Hence, the quality we feel is the strongest. We do feel this is one of our best albums, if not our best album quality-wise. So yeah, we're in a great position. We've got Ed Sheeran and people like that, and Steve Mack writing us songs, and it's incredible.
Maybe the first time you meet Ed could be here next year. Maybe you might have to bring him out on stage.
What,
Absolutely.
we did talk about it. We talked about maybe talking to him about coming up and doing a little something with us. So you never know. Could be.
Now, I just wanted to go through individually. If there was one song that you wish you'd have written, what would it be? It could be anyone's song
In
from
the
any
world
back
or Westlife
from the
song?
world, back catalogue.
I think like from, we talked about,
You start then.
I will. I think, we were actually talking about stadium songs and what becomes a stadium song. And a song that I think would have been amazing for us would have been Living on a Prayer by Bon Jovi.
For me, the first thing that came to my mind was made famous by Sinead O'Connor, but actually written by Prince, Nothing Compares to You. Probably is the song I would wish I'd written the most.
Good choice, Max.
I'm going to go with Hey Jude by the Beatles.
There you go.
Paul McCartney
Great
just
song.
wrote it, but incredible song. I went to see the Yesterday movie recently, and it was just
It's a
the
great movie.
catalogue of songs is just incredible.
When did you go?
But 3 weeks ago,
Self and Shane.
In Singapore.
We went down
Not
to Singapore,
yesterday,
didn't we?
I didn't go yesterday.
Finally, I'm going to wrap it up with My Way.
Oh, Nicky, that's a good one.
Do you know
That's the
what?
way to
We'd
do it.
all
That's
be-
a song.
we'd
It's a
all be
song that my dad
billionaires.
used to sing, and obviously he passed away, so we played at his funeral. So yeah, My Way is the one.
Well, thank you so much for joining Smooth Radio Westlife.
Thank you
It's
very
been an
much.
absolute pleasure. Best of luck with the gig next year. Can't
Thank
wait.
you very much.
Thank you
Thank
for
you,
the support,
everybody.
Smooth Radio.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
guys.